Right, there it is. Top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night, whatever time zone you are on. We are live. Hopefully, everyone has been doing the best that they can during this time. But I would like to remind everyone, if you can look up, you can get up. If you can look up, get up, then you can go up. So hopefully everyone has been doing the best that they can during this COVID-19 pandemic. We're going to start the music a little bit different today again, if you don't mind, because I was a Prince lover. It is what it is. So don't worry though, we're going to get to Ain't No Mountain High Enough on the end. Always. Disclaimer, if I do not own the rights to this music, if YouTube flag this live stream, you know what it's for, music. I have many live streams taken down in the past years ago for music, because I will keep the music going for 2 hours and not play the same person. But I'm gonna try to slide this in today and start off this way. Once again, we're gonna get to Florida governor. You're the weakest link. You opening back up the state too early. I'm gonna get to you because your numbers run it up. They run it up on COVID-19. Everyone has not been tested. We're not out of the mitigation process. We're closer to 50,000 people dying due to SARS2 in the United States as being reported. And I would like to caution and warn everyone, we do not have all of the numbers. Let me put back some and speak to the people in the bushes. Hello. To the regular supporters. Hello. To the onlookers and the people who will view this. Hello. Hello, everybody. Let me get to Prince before I go to this governor. Again, disclaimer, I do not own the rights to Private Joy. His estate own the rights to this music now. But I'm gonna play this song right now anyway. If you see the stream start going down, you know what it is. It's YouTube for this song. YouTube, I'm not monetized. I will give all credits to the channel that I am utilizing this song from in the description. Once I edit this video, the links to this song will be in the description below. So no need to sit up and try to cut my stream for being in violation. Okay, so nobody's on right now. Let me go ahead and play this. YouTube probably like, oh, here she go. We not get ready to send her links out because she on some other stuff. She get ready to play somebody else's music. You're right. I'm starting with Prince. You're absolutely right. If I had my old record player, I would play it from my house. Hold on.
Here has been.
Hold on. No commercials. Let me stop this and cue this up. Apologies for the loud clicks in the background. No commercials. Commercial-free zone over here. Also, YouTube. You have some vulnerabilities in your Chrome system. So everybody, if you have Chrome, if you use the Chrome browser, make sure you have the latest version updated, because if you don't, the hackers do what they do best. They're going to be in hack through your stuff and got all your information. Okay. So, latest Chrome update. Hackers. They're off into Chrome was attempting to exploit a vulnerability in the old Chrome's system prior to the updates. Make sure you have the latest version of Chrome, Google Chrome, okay? To mitigate the process of having your information hacked for security reasons. Here we go, to Prince. Let's move on. I'm trying to turn up. Let's go. My, my, Prince. Hello, Monica Mo. I see you. To the people in the bushes. Okay, once again, like I said, if they start shutting the stream down, you know it's because I was playing Prince. Uh, and I have been shut down before streaming a whole bunch of music live, but it is what it is. Let me get to this good, bad, and ugly section. Now, in commemorating Prince, Rolling Stone articles show up with Apollonia and saying something against um, Sheila E. Excuse me, women, you're in your 60s. Prince is gone. He put the Santanada, the boom boom bada on y'all like that. I believe he did, but Prince gone. We in a pandemic. We don't have time. They're too old to be going back and forth. I I kind of understand because Prince was all that in plus some, but ladies, well, Apollonian, you did comment and Sheila didn't, but y'all too old for that. You're in your 60s. Let it go. 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 We in a pandemic. Let it go. Let let it go. Nobody have time for that during this pandemic. Florida governor, I'm gonna start with you first today. You go in ugly, the super ugly. You the weakest link. You are the weakest link up here today. OUT out. You are out of order and out of control. I have a bunch of family that live in Georgia. It is too soon to be trying to open back up these businesses. You didn't even know that the virus was asymptomatic. How in the world you trying to open back up? What you gonna end up with is hospitals stressed out, workers stressed out. You are out of order, sir. I don't know if you off in Venus or Mars right now, but the rest of us are down here on planet Earth. We need you to touch back down and get in touch with reality, because right now you living in a realm of delusion. You out of order. You straight out of order. Let me get to this video on the super ugly one. Super ugly. Super ugly. We not even out the woods yet. How you gonna open? We not even out the woods yet. Kim Kim Jong, we gonna get to you too, because you sick right now. You didn't have some heart surgery. They say you're not doing too good. But I'm gonna say this right here. You probably shouldn't have had your family members assassinated, some of the ones assassinated allegedly. Shouldn't have did that. Now you sick. See, sowing and reaping is a real thing. I try to tell people. Shout out to everybody who's doing the best that they can. Wait a minute. Who? Wait a minute. That's the wrong video. Oh, wait. Let me get past this. That's Governor Newsom. I'm pulling up the wrong video. Governor Newsom said absolutely not. They're not getting ready to open up that soon. Okay, it's this one. If it's this one, why is he coming up? And I'm cueing the video past Gail because I don't want to really hear what she got to say. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. This one. I'm sorry for all the clicks in the background. All right, this is the one I'm gonna show because everybody else got uh barber salons and different bowling alleys. You touching, you spreading. Barber, that's close contact. Beautician, barbers, all that's close contact. That's close proximity. we still have it at 6 feet. Wuhan, China got it at 13 feet. Governor, you the weakest link. And I tell you what, this state, all that traveling, forget banning other nations from coming over here. States gonna eventually probably have to start banning people from coming to other states to get to their state, because you with your idiotic decisions don't want people to stay at home and shelter in place for a little while. We're not even out the woods yet. Really, we could be at a whole nother flare up. I don't know what people don't understand and get about this. This is about greed, money. And let me say this real quick, real fast. Hey, sweet pea. It is ill, Monica. Yeah, civil war. It is like a civil war. These southern states who did not, let me hear me real good, because maybe your ancestors were not slaves, but mine was. So hear me real good. Who didn't want to let them slaves go, and the Union seceded, the northern states seceded anyway. Let me tell you, Governor, something. A lot of you showing your colors. You're showing your colors. You're showing your true colors right now. And what you're showing is, and what you're proving is, you don't give a doggone about nobody's life. You don't care about nobody. You are some callous, cold-hearted, low-life, down low, rotten, gutter sniping human beings in terms of your character and what you display. You don't care about nothing but money. And I tell you what, should people die, you will get sued. That's going to be a bunch of blood on your head and on your hands too. You're not going to have clean hands, and it's going to be their blood all on your head. That's what I'm going to say about these COVID-19 deaths. Bunch of blood on your head and your hands. You think this stuff is cute? You think this stuff is funny? Nothing funny about people dying. Oh, and by the way, you trying to say it ain't hit your state? You haven't tested your state. When you test your state, then you could tell me something. Accurately, with some accurate tests. Because at these labs, the scientists are saying false positives. The people who are testing as not having COVID probably actually do got COVID-19, because the test ain't, he said half of the people out there testing not even testing right. And that's why they said with these pop-up sites, you better be careful. Be real careful. Be really careful, because the test ain't, half of the test coming back inaccurate. And you ruling people out as not having SARS2, and they probably got it because the test kits ain't right. See, this is why we need to sit down somewhere for a little while and shelter in place, just for a little while, just for a little while. Now, had the U.S. government under this administration did what they should have did back in 2019, we probably wouldn't be here today. We could have started mitigating then. Instead of people sitting up running around talking about it's a Democratic hoax. Now, we're close to 50,000 people being dead within a few months behind SARS2. Is it a hoax now? And then I get these people who really don't understand deductive reasoning. Inductive and deductive reasoning. Really don't know how to reason and logically think. Okay, you're using ambiguous information, trying to compare the flu and other deaths with SARS2. We've never encountered SARS2 in this nation. We've never had this pandemic happen. Excuse me, you're trying to compare oranges to apples. They both are fruit, but the fruits are in different categories. You can't get an apple from an orange tree, just like you can't get an orange from an apple tree. Those comparisons need to stop. People all here saying, well, you get 60,000 people that die with the flu every year. Excuse me. We're only within a couple of months, and over 40,000 people are dead. We edging up to 50,000 people being dead from SARS2. That's reported. We still have to factor in the ones who have not been reported, because we're not getting information in real time. And we got these asinine governors out here, and that's right, I said it. Welcome to the Lion's Den today. Asinine governors out here attempting to open up because you want some money. You want somebody out there working in a field for free, risking their lives for your profit and your gain. That's that same mess they did to my ancestors. Get out there and work them fields for free. We don't care if you die. That's that same foolishness. That's that same stank psychology. And then you get all these people talking about they want to be free. You don't know what not being free is until you've been 400 plus years a slave in the USA. No, I don't want to hear that foolishness. For the rest of the people running out there to myself, we want to be free. We want to be free. Stop it, because it's disrespectful to my ancestors. Stop that dumb stuff. It's crazy. Now let me get to this video. I lost your rabbit tail mind on that mess. On that mess. I said it. You want some mess. Foolishness. You're acting like some doggone fool. Oh, tell you what. Let them people die. That blood is gonna be on your hands and on your head for the rest of your life. Opening back up too soon. Don't even have no tests. Don't even have the right test. Scientists trying to tell you, and you people who want to sit up and listen to people who are not doctors, people who are not scientists. This is not even a profession. You're going to run and listen to them and let them tell you to go back to work too soon? Let me tell you something. You might as well go listen to a junkie on the street. Now, that's just like, let me do a real good comparison today. That's like listening to a junkie on the street. Who you going to let perform a surgery on you? A junkie on the street or a doctor that's in the field? Let me know right here today. Who would you have doing surgery on you? You don't want to listen to no doctors, but let me tell you this. Would you have number 45 come in and perform a surgery on you? Would you have Mike Pence come in and perform a surgery on you? Would you allow these governors to come in and perform surgery on you? Are you going to listen? Are you going to let the doctors who do this for real every day, all day perform surgery? Let me know. Let me know which one you going with, because that's what you're doing right now. That's exactly what you're doing. Let me play this video, because you the weakest link. You the weakest link. And I tell you what, I got over 13 first cousins in Georgia. And it is what it is. I don't want them, if they're not going to be mitigating and staying and sheltering in place, I don't want them traveling back up to Michigan right now. No, not you can come, but you ain't getting up in here unless you get tested. No. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not even trying to be funny. This is not even cute. Let me roll the video.
With limitations.
Hey,
gyms, tattoo parlors, bowling alleys, salons, and barbershops can reopen as long as they follow social distancing guidelines. You need to explain to me how you can social distance in a lot of these places, because people come very close to you. They'll screen their employees for signs of a fever or respiratory illness, but they won't be able to test them. Theaters and dine-in restaurants will be allowed to resume activity on Monday.
By taking this measured action, we will get Georgians back to work safely without undermining the progress that we all have made in this battle against COVID-19. Now, I will say that, you know, when we have more people moving around, we're probably going to see our cases continue to go up, but we're a lot better prepared for that now than we were over a month ago. I can tell you, I don't give a damn about politics right now.
Yeah,
whatever.
Like, yeah.
I'm a Georgia native.
What do you give a damn about?
I'm a Georgia native, by the way, and I just watching that.
I'm scared.
Well, actually, doesn't fill me with immense pride. I think that's the same spot that same governor sat and said, "Well, nobody ever told us this could be spread asymptomatically."
Yeah.
Really? No, actually, everybody told you it could be spread asymptomatically. Everybody. And by the way, just for the yahoos out there, whether you're from the north, the south, the east, or the west, it's going, hell yeah, he's reopening the government. Hey, guess what? He's going against Donald Trump's own guidelines. Right? So I don't know. Is he liberating Georgia from the iron grip of Trumpism? Because Donald Trump and all of his health officials over the past several days.
Y'all disrespect.
Have been
This is
saying you
disrespect.
need to meet certain guidelines
Yeah.
before you open up. And this, I want to go to, I know we have a lot more to read, but I want to
Yeah.
go to Jim Vandehei really quickly.
Yeah, we have
because
Jim and Reverend L. Sharp.
And Reverend Al, because Jim, I heard you talking a little bit about
Al
this
Sharpton,
before, talking about your concern about people's safety because of partisan politics. They're like, listen, I don't give a damn whether somebody's a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. I want them to be safe. I want their children to be safe. I want their parents and grandparents to be safe. But some people are making some really stupid decisions just based on what side of the aisle they're on in the middle of a pandemic where deaths are still spiking. We're at 42, 43,000 now. We'll be at 50,000 dead by the end of the week. And you got a governor that's opening up tattoo parlors and massage parlors and gyms. I mean, I understand state parks where people can walk and there's ventilation. I understand even beaches in Florida, as long as people walk 6 feet apart, because there's ventilation and a huge breeze blowing. I do not understand these petri dishes of pandemic spread being opened.
I think Mika mentioned it earlier that Meacham called it a partisan pandemic. The truth is, there's something broken in our country in that we truly live in two parallel universes, and this is always going to be the inevitable outcome. Like in the beginning, I think most people were looking at it through the lens of what's best for my family, what's best for my community, and then now it's into the partisan phase where you had last night the President of the United States on Twitter saying that we're going to lock down all immigration, including green cards, and Republicans are going to rally around that. You have southern states saying, the hell with it, we're going to open up for business. And you know that other Republicans are going to follow suit. And the truth is, if you're your average Republican, you just live in a different world right now in that you are living in a state that likely has fewer cases and you're consuming a lot of content that's deeply skeptical about the threat of the coronavirus. Where if you're a Democrat, you're much more likely to live in a big city. You're much more likely to probably know someone who's sick or dying from the coronavirus. You're watching coverage that has a much more ominous tone about it.
Now,
and every single thing that
I'm gonna stop right there. I'm an independent. Let me say this. I know over 10 people personally, like I said, who I broke bread with, family members gone. SARS2 in this state, and the numbers are trending up. And we don't have enough tests for everyone, accurate tests, not just any tests, per what the scientists and the lab researchers have been saying. You can't run all these tests out here with these false positives and think everything is going to be okay. You don't even have enough masks for everybody over here. You don't have enough gloves for everybody over here. And unless this government is willing to run every household, missing none, and that includes the homeless people who are sheltered in hotels and other facilities right now, unless this government is ready to run everybody an N95 mask based on the FDA standards here in a large quantity, give everybody at least 25 to start with some gloves, with some gargles, and you're not ready to reopen. You don't have the resources to be reopening right now. You can't even get this under control right now. You don't even have enough supplies right now. There are not enough ventilators. You have businesses and corporations who don't normally create or manufacture ventilators and other supplies, doing that right now just to get something here in this nation. You governors are asinine. You're absolutely asinine. You need to pull your heads out your behinds and think with the thing that God gave you in between your two ears, and that's your brain. That's what you need to do. Because right now, you're not thinking with your brain. Your brain is all in your backsides. That's right, I said it. I tell you what, let a governor roll up on this channel and you open your state and watch what you get. You step in this lion's den, you won't get out. That's the way that go. Because I will for every day you live, for every day of your life, I will have something to say for every day you have been on this earth. To infinity, to the 10th power. This is crazy. This is crazy because what? Your family members not dying? You want to play Russian roulette with everybody else's life because your family members not dying? Tattoo parlor? Ink? You put ink on somebody? You want somebody to touch somebody with their doggone needles? Are you serious? Yeah, you the weakest link. Florida governor, you the weakest link. You need to get cut off right now. You need to get cut off. You need to, I mean, Georgia governor, excuse me, Florida governor, you trailing in behind them too. You trailing right in behind them too. Opening up beaches. Talking about some practice social distancing. And people out there not social distancing. Excuse me, people. You got to take care of your own family because if you're going to follow poor leadership that leads with them and the ship going down and it starts sinking, you're going to sink with the clowns that's leading you. You better get off that ship and do what you need to do for your own family. This is crazy. Y'all governor's crazy. Crazy as heck. Crazy as a Bessie bug. Crazy. Cray cray. Straight up cray cray. Now, California. Now I can go to you. He said, no. My governor, Michigan. No one is getting ready to open up right now. Maybe your state don't have numbers that are running high because you're not testing like you're supposed to be because you don't have enough tests. And then the tests you do have are probably not accurate. But Georgia, the Center of Disease Control is there. That's in your state. I got to go with somebody with some good sense. And Cuomo, I appreciate him and the other governors who are using their brain and thinking logically and rationally with good sense. And the rest of the people running out talking about some, we got bills to pay. When it did, they did. You won't have a bill to pay. You're going to be 6 feet underground trying to rush your behind back out there for a paycheck. You'll be 6 feet underground. Then you won't have a story to tell or work to go to or paycheck to get or a business to run. When you're 6 feet underground, it won't be funny then. You won't live to tell a story because you won't be here to tell a story. It'll be somebody else telling a story about how you did not adhere to wisdom and wise counsel. And you went back to work to how you did some Russian roulette with your lungs, your kidneys, and the rest of your body. That's what it's gonna be. That's what we'll be over here saying on this side. How you played Russian roulette with your own life. That's what we'll be over here. We'll be over here left to tell the story. Let me play this governor. Yeah, Monica. Georgia has high HIV and Washington do too. Yeah, they do. And so with states that have already pre-existing conditions, you already have high numbers of pre-existing conditions in your state, you can't afford to be reopening. This is crazy. I don't know.
California Governor Gavin Newsom, he says a return to life as normal in that state will not happen anytime soon. Hundreds of people protested California's stay-at-home restrictions at the state capitol in Sacramento yesterday. But in an interview you'll only see on CBS this morning, Newsom says more patience is needed.
People for walking out here without masks.
Governor, the last time you were on our air, you said you worried people would become fatigued with the social distancing guidelines and the restrictions. It seems that fatigue has set in, to judge by the protests. What's your message to those protesters?
Stay safe, stay healthy, not only for yourselves, but your loved ones. When you come home, if you haven't practiced physical distancing, be careful when you see grandma and grandpa. And focus again on the fact that we're all in this together.
President Trump has expressed sympathy with the protesters, even cheering them on in some respects. Do you share that sympathy, if not exactly the president's language?
Well, I share the empathy of frustration that we're all living through something we've never lived through in our lifetime, and the need and desire for all of us to get back to work and to some semblance of normalcy.
Can you say from where you're sitting at this moment that the worst is over in California? No,
because if we all pull back, we could see a second wave that makes this pale in comparison. I can't say that. Honestly, that's determined by the act of 40 million Californians stepping and continuing to meet this moment. ICU numbers are beginning to flatten, but we're not seeing yet the significant decline that we need to see ultimately to toggle back. But we are committed to a process. We've socialized that process. And we are leaning in, working with 58 counties across the state to make sure that we do it together in a thoughtful and strategic way.
I understand the timeline for easing restrictions is still a work in progress, still a little bit hazy. It's dependent on what people do today. But from where you're sitting with the data you have, can you say today that baseball is possible in July, school will be back in session in September, and it's possible that elections will happen as normal in November?
Yeah, I don't know as normal, and none of the above as normal. I think that would be unrealistic to assert. You have to radically change the floor plans in the schools, in businesses, private, public institutions, large and small. We're going to have new protocols and procedures, temperature checks, people wearing face coverings across the spectrum. But the idea of tens of thousands of fans coming together across their differences, high-fiving one another, hugging each other after a base hit or a strikeout is not something I'm anticipating anytime soon.
It sounds like what you're saying is life as we knew it is gone until such a time when there's a vaccine or herd immunity.
It's not rocket science.
I mean, it's not that complicated, or incredibly successful and viably distributed treatments. I don't anticipate that normalcy that many of us wished for happening anytime soon, but we will begin to toggle back, to put a little dimmer switch up, and begin to change the way we currently are conducting ourselves from a full lockdown stay-at-home order to one that is more prescriptive, targeted, and strategized.
Here you are preparing.
That's somebody with some sense, and we know Cuomo got good sense. Alan, I see you. You said sports, right? That's as close as you can get. That's body contact. That's body on body contact. Okay, now, let me go here to you little thieving, conniving businesses who need to be fined, because in the bill, it's supposed to be some oversight so this wouldn't happen. But this is what happens when you don't have oversight. This is what happens when you don't have leadership. Now, the mandate should have come from the White House for everybody to shelter in place right now and to shut this foolishness down. And you wouldn't have these governors trying to do it on a state-by-state basis in case. That's one thing to keep on everybody's mind. And like I said to you, foolish, asinine thinking governors, I wish you would step over into the lion's den. I will set your soul on fire 50 different ways. And by the time I'm finished, you will be thinking with the thing that's in between your two ears. Not have your head stuck up in your behind like you oblivious somewhere out in space while everybody else down here on Earth. Your head is in a cloud, head in the sand. Nobody had no time for that. To you greedy goblin businesses. You knew you had more than 500 employees. You didn't went up in there. No oversight. No oversight. This is what happens. For people who always want to run and scream, no government, no oversight. This is what happens when you have crooked oversight and no oversight. This right here, this what you get. Let me do the share on this. This what you get. Right here, this what happens. I'm not for that foolishness. Somebody need to be watching somebody, and somebody need to be watching that somebody, and somebody needs to be watching that somebody that's watching that somebody. Oh yeah, that's the way that goes. That's the way that goes. Some not so small companies, you already got the small business loans under the PPP, and then the small business loans like the salons or like the barbershops that really needed them, and other people, they couldn't get them because y'all greedy behinds with no integrity, no character, then ran up and applied for a loan that you know you had no business applying for or receiving on the onset. 500 employees or less. That's what the bill said. That's what was passed. And to the Congress and to the senators, y'all need to get on y'all jobs. Where's the oversight committee that's supposed to be watching all of this? Why do you have time to be playing games? Work from home. Get your systems up so you can work from home with some oversight. With some people with integrity to start watching where this money is going. Pop belly. Sandwich. You knew you had more than 500 employees. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Restaurant chain. Y'all done ran up in there. Construction companies, mobile home makers, and other businesses. You done ran up in there and ciphered off $1 billion paycheck protection program. You've been up in there approved for loans that you had no business receiving in the first place because you have more than 500 employees. You have no integrity, no character, downright unethical, none, nothing but greed. And all of this returning the money means absolutely nothing to me. I wish I was on the oversight because I would find every last one of you all. Every last one of you all. I sure would. You wouldn't just be giving that loan money back. You'd be paying fines. Greedy. Just don't make no sense. Some of y'all done lost y'all, excuse my language, some of y'all done lost y'all rabbit tail mind. You done lost your rabbit tail mind. That's right. The program is primarily intended to benefit small businesses. We read it in the bill. 500 employees or fewer. That's who this loan was for. Not Potbelly, not Quantum, not Holiday Energy. You received $10 million in loan money each. You have more than 500 employees. You had no business doing this. None. And to resign as a CEO or whatever is not good enough for me. They need to put you on house arrest until we can bring you to court because this is fraud. You fraudulently obtained some loans. Let's call it what it is today. We're not going to keep having the little people get pressed and sitting up in prison while you ingrates, thieving, conniving, scheming, scamming, slithery, slimy, snaky, unethical, vipers come up and hustle, fleece the United States of America taxpayers. Fleece the socks off the government on the backs of the American people. $10 million each. Where's the oversight? You, in this bill, you wrote legislation for there to be oversight committees. They're getting paid. We looked at the numbers. Where are they? Who are they? You're going to write into the bill a penalty for people if they get unemployment and they shouldn't get it. That's in the bill. What's in the bill for these cats right here. These scheming cats right here. Me doggone. So let me get to these companies receiving payment protection program money, who was approved for loans and who shouldn't have been. And Jay Alexander, let me blow this up. I'm astonished, Jay Alexander. You were one of the restaurants that I used to enjoy eating at. One of the restaurants that I enjoy eating at. You at the top. Jay Alexander's, you know doggone well y'all have more than 500 employees. Come on. You at the top. This is ridiculous. Loan amount, 15 million. Festive Restaurant Group, 10 million. Hard R Energy, 10 million. Pop Betty, 10 million. Quantum, 10 million. Board Wind Energy, 9.5 million. ZAG, 9.4 million. Air T, 8.2 million. Wave Life Sciences, Healthcare, 7.2 million. This was the loan amounts that you received. Right here. Market cap. Right here. This is what you're bringing in. These are the number of employees that you have. Jay Alexander, 4,200. Festy Restaurant, you got over 10,000 employees, 10,480. Harbor Energy, you have 915 employees. Potbelly, 6,000. Quantum, 800. Broadwind Energy, 521. The number said 500 or less. It's classified as a small business. ZAG, 628. Air T, 769. And they have to have this wrong right here. Wave Scientists, they got you at 301. You qualify, but allegedly this has got to be wrong. Net income, 9 million. They got some of y'all in the negatives. I don't care. My Kayla, come here, please. Come here, please. Thank you. Tell her I'm in a live. She need to break that all the way down. Thank you. Tell, yeah, break that down, son. Yeah, because that's loud. Yeah, and that's loud. That's loud. I need that broken down, son. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bring that down. Bring that down. Right. They signing bills, dipping in everything. Triple dipping. No rebates. People ain't even got their rebates yet. Monica, you saying 45 fired the oversight? Double dipping. And if anybody want to come up and sound off on this, I got the link. Send me, you can email Kerensz and you can come up and you can sound off. I will send you the link so you can come up and sound off. Just email this right here. You can email me right here. And you can sound off on these corporations scamming the system. And I will send you the link. You can jump on up here. You don't have to enable your video if you don't want nobody to hear you, see you. You can just let them hear your voice. So companies who need to be fined right now, you scheming scammers. All right, let me go to this people, a lot of people Now, and when the first guy was interacting with me on YouTube and was saying that the $1,200 that some were receiving were being taken by creditors, like if you have a judgment against your bank account or anything like that, that the government, the IRS, was deducting amounts from checks and sending. We're in a pandemic right now. And so my strong recommendation on the beginning was get a different bank. Yeah. Go with an online banker right now. Get you a different bank and put your money there so they wouldn't take it. Now, this other lady said, listen, if you have not received your money yet and you know you have an offset or a judgment against your account where they just gonna take it straight from you, get a paper check. Go on, let them send you a paper check. And when you get your paper check, you know what to do. Go cash it somewhere else and pull the money out. That's my strong recommendation. Now, so it's a way around that. I cannot believe. I thought the only offset that they were going to take out was child support, but they, in the bill, I said, I'm gonna have to find that page. $1,200. And you gonna try to take a judgment out of that? What? Creditors. Let me blow this up before I go to that video. All descriptions and links to these videos will be below once this edit is done. Creditors, let me tell you something. Alan, you want to talk about triple dipping, double dipping? Creditors. Now see, this is something I have never agreed with in terms of the United States. Excuse me. If you had an account with somebody else and they charge it off, because I did do charge offs, they charge that off, that means it's written off. That corporation has taken that as a loss. And then they turn it around to these creditors, these credit agencies. You turn around and sell it to them for pennies on the dollars. Then you want to turn around for bills that was maybe 400. Let's say you owe 400. Let me give you an example. You owe 400 and a creditor bought your debt that was charged off, that this business has already taken a loss on, turned around and bought a debt. So this is something that I don't understand about the US government. This right here is non-integral to me. There's no integrity in that. And it's on law here. It's in your book. You will allow creditors to buy debts that businesses already took a hit and a loss on for pennies on a dollar. That's what these creditors do. Then turn around and overcharge somebody that they never had a legally binding contract with. Hear me good. If I had a legally binding contract with another business and you sold my debt to someone else, the person you showed my debt to, I never had a contract with them that was legally binding, saying that I would pay them anything for a service. They didn't render the service. The original company did. I don't care what the company sold to who or what. I wouldn't pay the debt. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't pay that debt to no creditor. My contract in negotiations was never with you. I didn't sign with you. You have nothing on me. I didn't sign with you. I signed with somebody else. And if they wrote it off and charged it off and took a hit for it, you don't come behind me and tell me you get ready to get paid. No, you're not. Now, see, that's what's happening. That's what these people are talking about. Creditor, not the original creditor. These side creditors who make billions and millions of dollars squeezing people. They didn't pay pennies for a dollar on the debt. Didn't want to turn around and collect a couple thousand from somebody. People, if you should ever get something in the mail from a creditor, make sure you show up in court. Don't let them get you on a default because they coming with a suit. Hit your counter suit. That's what we're talking about. We got this group out here who should never have been allowed to do anything in the United States of America. Once that first corporation take that as, write that off as a loss, can write it off on their taxes as a loss, nobody else should be able to profit from it. That's no integrity. That's unethical. That's unethical. If the first corporation could collect the debt, the second one don't need to come in and try to get no money off nobody. Then they won't sell the debt to them. United States, you need to get that off the books. You really do. That's another asinine situation right there. You want to come and garnish this $1,200 pandemic money. That's what people been doing. So this gentleman had been talking and communicating back and forth with me, and I was saying, what? I was saying, well, no one should be doing that. You don't owe back child support or anything like that. And he was like, no. And he kept going back and forth. I'm like, and then I just finally said, once I started hearing more people or seeing more people post, I said, listen, get a different account. If you know this is getting ready to happen, get a different account. If it has happened, they have organizations out there now, legal aids, who are helping to fight so those people can get their money back. That's no integrity. You charged off a debt. Then you're going to turn around and sell a debt you charged off that you took a loss on to another corporation for pennies on the dollars. And then they're going to squeeze the person who they never had a legally binding contract with. They're going to automatically inflate the interest rate and try to get some money out of you. You wouldn't get a dime out of me. I'm telling you that right here, right now. You would not get a dime out of me. If you're not the original creditor and I did not have a legally binding contract with you, you get nothing from me. And that goes for everybody else. They should be receiving nothing from you. And if they send you something in the mail, you better go to court and do your countersuit and continue with them. And your ground is this. File your motion for direct reimbursement. I never had a contract with them. My legally binded obligation was never with them. It was with the original creditor. I'm not obligated to pay them anything. The original creditor has already written this off. And I will only pay the original creditor, not somebody else I didn't have a contract with. I'm not legally obligated to pay them nothing. They're not the originators of the debt. They didn't provide a service to me or for me for anything at any time for any reason. Y'all better start fighting. These people, y'all better start fighting some of this stuff. People do not ever just sit up and let stuff go into a default. So they came with a suit. Guess what? Guess what you had the right to do? Countersuit. Countersuit. Let me get to this right here. Yep. So we got people during pandemic, $1,200, and you got these creditors sitting up here taking from these $1,200. I'm curing the video, getting past the commercial. Let me say it again and let me slow it down for the people who don't get it or may not get it. Let me get real close. Look here at me. If they have a garnishment or a judgment against your account, and you know someone's going to attempt to take your $1,200 or deduct some money from that, get another account. Okay, if the IRS got your latest account information, shut it down. So they enforce them to send you a paper check. If they had your other banking account information, move all your money out to somewhere else. Shut that account down right now. Yeah, this is my strong recommendation. This is not legal advice. This is my strong recommendation and opinion. Shut that down. Shut it down. So they can't send you no direct deposit for nobody to get anything out of your account and make them send you a paper check so you can go cash it somewhere else. Have all your money. Right now, Susie Oman, I'm gonna get to her too. She said, people, stop paying these bills. She said, stop paying bills. Let me get to this. Let me get to this. This is crazy. This is a pandemic. I ain't had time for that. You better be holding on to your cash. The video is queued up in the background. Let me see what the chat is saying. I'm one of them type of people. Mm-hmm. So here it is. I didn't need a financial advisor, by the way, to tell people to stop paying certain bills. Nobody needs you to tell them that. I just need to use the right and left side of my brain. Here it is. Here it is. Taking money. Taking, and I said, I have got to find this on a page in the bill where these creditors, if they already have a judgment against you, is getting some of that stimulus money. That's crazy, because you wouldn't allow those who defaulted on student loans to have anything offset. You wouldn't allow other things to be offset. Why are you allowing this right here? What? Yeah. Again, my strong recommendation early on was get another account. If you have a judgment against your account, now that I'm knowing people have judgment against their account, shut that baby down and make them send you a paper check. Get a different account. Get another account that don't have a judgment against it. Go online and get another account. Hear what I'm saying? Go online and get another account right now, because that $1,200 was supposed to be for food, for resources during the pandemic. And if you have them ciphering off that, you're not going to have, you don't know really when you're going to go back to work, in spite of these stupid governors that are asinine, non-thinking, nonsensical, illogical, off somewhere in space with the head under sand, in space, in head underneath sand. Forget all that. You better do what I'm saying. You can either take the strong recommendation or just let them take your money. Here's the video.
For many Americans, those government stimulus checks that were promised are going to cover some of their basic necessities. We're talking about food, maybe rent, but for some people, that money's never going to enter their bank account. Here's why. Under the CARES Act, banks and debt collectors are authorized to seize these relief payments if receipts have if the recipients have outstanding debt. So for more on this, let's bring in Irina Ivanova, who has been following the story. She's a reporter and video producer for CBS Money Watch.
For a minute, because they have banks and debt collectors, but keep in mind, the bank and a debt collector cannot seize anything if they do not already have a judgment against you in the court. They have to have a judgment against you. That has to be in court somewhere, granted by the court. Now, for those people who fall in this category, again, like I said, you better shut them accounts down, get you an online account that does not have a judgment against it, and force them to send you a paper check if you fall in this category. Now, let me let the lady speak.
Okay, so explain this to us. Is it a specific type of debt that they can take the money? When I read this, I thought, well, you know, a lot of times when you owe child support payments and you get paid, the money gets taken out before you even see it. Is it a situation like that?
That's a great question, Anne-Marie. So yes, child support is one of the types of debts that your stimulus check can be diverted to. But what I found researching the stories is actually a lot of different debts.
Wow.
If you owe an old medical bill, for instance, or if there's an old parking ticket, any sort of debt that has gone to collection, that there's a judgment against you, if your bank account has been seized, in theory, your stimulus check could go to pay off that debt.
So, Irina, how are debt collectors actually getting the money from the stimulus checks? How are they getting the money before it hits people's accounts? Or is it after they've hit people's accounts that they're able to access it?
Right. So this is a problem for people who are getting their stimulus direct deposited into their accounts. And what happens is if that account has been seized or is frozen or there's some sort of judgment against it, you could not ever see that stimulus check, or you could see it, you know, you could see $1,200 deposited and $800 taken out, for instance. And then if you have a bank account where you owe money, which is also very common, you could have some overdraft fees, you could have late fees. Your bank can also just take that money directly out of the stimulus check.
So in your piece, you also write that often people don't even realize that they owe this debt. Can you tell me whether or not, there's any sort of legal recourse? Often you hear people say, I didn't even know there was this credit card debt out there or this hospital debt out there. And by that time, the money's already gone.
That's right. A lot of us think of debt as something that only happens if you've done, if you've really screwed up financially. And it's actually an extremely common issue. A couple of years ago, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau did a study, and they found that the #1 consumer complaint was debt, either people getting calls from debt collectors or having a debt collected against them. Something like 1/3 of consumers, that's 70 million Americans, have this complaint. And so in theory, as you noted, there is a process that needs to happen for someone to collect a debt against you. They need to go to court. They need to get a judgment against you. But as we've seen, people move. Papers get sent to the wrong address. A lot of people say that people are trying to collect debts against them that they don't even owe. And so what often happens is a person might not even realize that they owe money until they get a check that they were expecting, like a tax refund or their paycheck, and they find that part of it is missing because that's gone to collect a debt.
Invalid served.
Irina, several consumer advocacy groups are calling for a moratorium on all private debt collection throughout the duration of the pandemic. But have state and government leaders taken any action on this?
So this is something that's been getting a lot of attention lately. Senators have written to the Treasury asking for a fix, and a lot of states are taking individual actions. So for instance, Massachusetts and Ohio have said that they're going to treat these checks as public benefits and not collect debts against them. Other states, for instance, New York State has said it will not collect any public debt. So if you have a student debt that's been turned over to the state for collection, they're not going to collect that. And actually, the National Consumer Law Center is a great resource. They keep a running list of what states have done what. The problem is these are all very piecemeal solutions. So for instance, the city of Chicago is not collecting on old parking tickets, but if you owe an old medical debt, which is a private debt, that might not necessarily apply. And that's why a lot of consumer protection groups have come out and have called for a broad debt moratorium on all private debts. They're not even necessarily calling for debt forgiveness. They're just saying during this economic crisis, when a lot of people are struggling economically, let's pause on debt collection. Let's make sure that people who get these stimulus checks actually get them, use them on groceries, use them on rent, use them to stay afloat until this crisis passes.
So let me ask you, Irina, one last question, I guess. Sorry, Emery.
That's okay. I think I was going to ask my last question as well, about just what action people can take if they're worried about losing that stimulus check because of the debt.
That's a great question. Something that consumer groups recommend is if you can get on the phone with the IRS, if you have not received your check yet, ask them to send it as a check, not to deposit it to your bank account. If you get it as a paper check, get it cashed instead of depositing it into a bank account where it can be seized, and that way you have a little bit more protection. If you've already had your stimulus check garnished or had some debts taken out of it, you could reach out to consumer protection groups like Legal Aid to see if they can help you out and get some of that money back.
All right, Irina Ivanova, thank you very much for the reporting. We appreciate it. Really interesting.
There it is.
Thank you guys for having me.
Into that category, I posted below National Consumers, the National Customer Law Center, just to see what the states are doing. And I'm going to go and see what states are doing too, because this is crazy. Now I understand what the gentleman was saying, and I gave some recommendations. I said, listen, this is a pandemic. Open up another account that don't have a judgment against it. Okay, if you need to shut down that account because they had it when you filed your taxes, shut it down. Get your money out, shut it down, move it. Make them send you a paper check. have to wait a little longer, but you won't have creditors with no integrity siphon off of it. You won't. Like I said, that makes no sense to me. And unfortunately, the U.S. government allows businesses to write your debt off, and then they'll let these junk collectors, is what I call them, junk debit collectors, come along, buy that debt for pennies on the dollar, then take you to court. Want to take you to court? Excuse me, you didn't have a legally binding contract with them. Nowhere did you sign up or write that you were legally bonded to pay these junk debit collectors for any services or any good. Your original contract was not with them. It was never with them. And they wouldn't be getting no money from me. Please, please, So they bring a suit. You bring your countersuit. Please. First thing I would say is I didn't have a legally binding contract with you. You didn't render me a good or service. My contract was not with you. Not obligated to pay you anything. Okay. So hopefully, if someone comes along and they need their help, hopefully you get it. Hopefully you get it. My strong recommendation again, open up another account somewhere. Don't be out here playing. Don't play. don't play. Don't play. Better shut that account down and get that against to open up something else. Okay, let's get to Susie. Now, I don't agree with everything Susie Oman says. But when I learned when I got better at helping people clear up their credit reports, it came through reading her books, a lot of her books, specifically because they were so detailed to the point till a lot of my former coworkers, they would be like, my credit scores here, I got this, I got that. And I would sit down and say, okay, well, get your credit report, bring it into me. And I would be going through there line by line and writing all these credit bureaus, disputing some of everything with valid paperwork and things like that. When I started getting good at that, it was because I was reading a lot of her books. I had like a lot of her books on the step-by-step process on how to do that. And it was Susie. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that she said throughout the years, but this is her advice that she's been given. She was on Tamron Hall show. When she said, stop paying the bills, run them credit cards up. I was like, man, Susie. Just like that, huh? She was like, just like that. Don't pay your bills. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so links to the description, like I said, the links to the videos will be in the description below once this video is edited. I'm queuing it up in the background, I'm getting past the commercials. All right, so here we go. This is Susie saying hold off on paying all them bills like that. Certain bills. She's saying hold off on paying certain bills. Only pay what's essential. And leave the non-essential stuff alone. Here we go. Tamron Hall show.
Susie, you say that people should hold off on paying bills right now. How do you go about it, and why is that the key?
Here's the thing, Tamron, we don't know how long this is going to go on. So really right now, cash is really like gold to you. So when you get a stimulus check, when you get your unemployment, don't go taking that money and paying off all of your credit cards. You need to keep that money because not everybody takes credit cards. Your landlord might not take credit cards. Certain people just don't take them. So therefore, if you have credit cards and things like that, just pay the minimum payment due. Hold on to as much cash as you possibly can right now.
What about your utilities? Do you hold off on paying utilities?
No, but I'll tell you what you do is you pick up the phone and you call them, because most of the major utility companies will say, oh, it's all right. You can go for 2 months and not pay. It's all right. You can just pay the minimum payment due. They are willing to work with you, but you have to be willing to have the courage to pick up the phone and say, could you please help me? So many financial institutions right now are helping people. It's not even funny, but you don't know that they're helping you because you're not reaching out to them.
So get on the phone, don't be ashamed, make that call and find out what kind of grace period you can have. We talk to so many people who are paycheck to paycheck, especially in this restaurant industry that's been hit so hard, retail industry hit so hard. What is your advice for those who have been paycheck to paycheck and are now out of work and have no backup plan?
Yeah, you don't have a backup plan. So my first thing would be, and I don't mean this to sound harsh, I mean this to say, just remember this experience. Remember this, that next time everything goes back to normal, and it will sooner than later, that you make it your number one priority, that you put money in an emergency fund to last you at least 8 months. Little by little, you'll get there, but don't let this happen to you ever again. But with that said, you're really in a far better situation, most of you, than you would have been even years ago when this happened in 2008, because now the federal government is giving you $600 a week if you qualify for unemployment for 13 weeks. If, there are so many things. You get the stimulus check if you qualify, and chances are if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you will qualify for that. So you can, you can try to apply for food stamps. It's called the SNAP program. There are all kinds of things that you can do. Do you have any money in a retirement account? Do you have any friends that you can borrow money from or that can gift it to you? But this is the time, Tamara, that you have to just summon up your courage and do whatever it is that you have to do. And if that means that you don't have any money to pay your bills, at least let the people know that you aren't going to be paying them. Let them know why.
Been talking about the first bit of advice that you gave, which was don't pay your bills. You cite credit cards, for example, but I want you to break it down for us by specifics. Your first up, credit cards. Is now the time to max out the credit cards?
I have to tell you, whoever thought Susie Orman would be saying this, but yes, now is the time for you. If you have no money, you have no other choice, and you're lucky enough to have available credit limit on your credit cards, this is the time that you pay for food at the grocery store. You put gasoline in your car to get to possibly a food bank or the grocery store or wherever you're allowed to go today. This is the time that you put it on your credit card and you pay the minimum payments due. But with that said, you call your credit card company and you ask them, could you please lower my interest rate to 0%? Okay. So that you're not being penalized for paying only the minimum payment due. So those are the things sometimes when you have nothing, you have to resort to.
You've talked about if you had the power to change one thing about the financial industry, it has to do with credit cards. What is that thing?
Yeah, it actually has to do with credit cards as well as any financial institution and credit scores. I wish we could have an absolute mandate that all interest rates that you are paying on anything go down to 0%, as I just mentioned a few seconds ago. I also wish that we were able to freeze everybody's FICO or credit score right here and right now as to what they were before all of this happened.
She talking like I'll be talking. That's what I'm for, because that's advocacy right there. That's fighting for people. That should have been in the first bill. They wrote a provision in there to allow the credit bureaus not to get sued by the consumers during this pandemic. Well, the flip side of that is when they call it a bill for the people, why would you allow that provision in there and not allow the people credit scores to be frozen during this time, during the pandemic where it's shelter in places and shelters at home. Now, see, if I'm going to be legislating, I have to really legislate for people. Now that's what I agree with on the end of that. That should have been in there, but you heard her. She said don't be paying the bills up. Certain bills like utilities, you know, some stuff you gotta pay, whatever. Call them. What's your reason? Economic pandemic hardship. Right now, we're in a pandemic economic hardship. Okay, pandemic economic hardship. Got to shelter in place, got to be at home and keep your cash. I'll say it again, and that's the old school way. Old school South. Grandparents always had a bunch of cash on them. They was gonna keep that cash. A bunch of cash on them now. A bunch of cash, a bunch of gold. You gotta do what you gotta do. So that's Susie right there. People don't be paying the bills. Certain bitches just like non-essential. You don't have the cash for that. You heard her. Don't take it. She shouldn't have to tell you this. Don't take that $1,200 and start paying everything down. What? You better keep that cash. So we have to balance this out with creditor, debit collectors coming at people trying to take their money. I gave some strong recommendations for that. And that was before I even knew it was to this point that is at. It should have been a provision for that in this CARES Act, saying no. During this pandemic, creditors, if the government said they wasn't even going to take your $1,200 for a student loan or what you owed them, they even said if you owed them money, they were not tapping into that $1,200. Why would they not write a provision in there for the rest of the creditors to follow suit? If you fall into that category. Okay, but Georgia, back to you. You still the weakest link. Y'all cray. Your governor is cray. Need to get his head examined. And people sitting up talking about some can't get your hair done. Excuse me. Let me do this real quick. Let me side note it real quick. See, because look at where my hair is at. See this little part right here? That's my edges. I'm used to my hair last year this time was shaved off. I keep the back of my hair shaved throughout the year, all the time, every couple of weeks. Get the back of my hair shaved. Look at where the back is, because the back of my hair grows longer, quicker. Last year, I keep the back of my hair shaved completely off. Because like beautician said, my hair grow like seaweed. And you don't think I want the back of my hair shaved now? But I don't have to shelter in place. If I don't get my hair cut, it's gonna be all the way back down to where it was when I was a kid. And I have thick hair. And a lot of it. No complaints. The beauticians tell me, well, most people have 1 or 2 strands per follicle in their head. Mine is doubled and tripled up. And these people running around talking about Mom, the one lady, I can't get my nails done. I can't get my hair done. Wash your hair at home. Do your nails at home. Take them to the fingernail file. That is not essential right now. You want to be out there playing Russian roulette with your life. You don't think I want my stuff cut too? I do. I need mine cut. Shucks. Goodness. Yeah, like they be just going through. Take some shampoo, wash your hair at home. Follow up with some conditioner. Okay? Rinse it out, sit under dry, let it air dry. Do what you do. Goodness. Alan, you said doing it yourself is much better. Alan, not when you had to deal with it. No. My sister has been a licensed beautician for over 30 years. I grew up in a family with licensed beauticians on both sides of my family. No, I much rather have them doing my hair than myself. Okay, no, I can't curl like them. I definitely can't cut. Can't curl like they curl. can't cut like they curl, cut like they cut. My one aunt, that's a licensed beautician. I don't care what length your hair is. In 15 minutes, she's gonna have your whole entire hair curl and be done. She came from the South, old school, way back in the day in her 70s. She said 15 minutes, like, get on through there now. If you take more than 15 minutes, too long on the head. If they got longer hair, no longer than 30 minutes, they could move on out the way now. So no, no. I much rather have somebody who know what they're doing for real and who's off into hair care doing this right here, and not myself. No, not myself. I have been, but I much rather have them do what they do. That's what they do. That ain't what I do. This ain't my gift. This is not my talent. No. When people out there just not wanting to shelter in place for some of the silliest things right now, okay, you have to be flexible. You either want to live or you don't. You either want to be 6 feet under or you don't. And then you have to factor in other people too. These people are being so selfish. You ain't factored in nobody but yourself. Florida governor, back to you. I'm not going to let you forget this. You're the weakest link. If you know they have a judgment against your account, my strong recommendation again, shut that account down and move your monies to a different bank that does not have a judgment against it, and force them to send you a paper check. Okay. This is a pandemic. All of these things should have been written in the first bill. They say they may have a negotiation this Thursday, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. We have to look at the fine print, and I'm gonna have to go back and read through that section of why people who owe debt collectors finances are being offset, because when I saw under there that the offsets couldn't be taken by the government, my philosophy was, why would everybody else be able to collect their $1,200 during this pandemic for debts owed to creditors that rendered no services to them? That don't make sense. That makes no sense. Y'all bet. For the rest of you people who don't normally watch, if you don't get nothing but this section right here, you better start learning how to do some conferences. Valid, with some type of validity to them, some fail-proof reasoning behind it, some good rebuttals. Oh no, I owe you. I don't owe you nothing. I didn't have no contract with you. I just start telling these people I had no contract with you. You didn't render no services to me. Psh. And the corporation already profited off it and benefited off of this? No. Nope. Okay. So hopefully they get the oversight in there like it should be. And J. Alexander, Festi, Hard All Energy, Hall It All Energy, Quantum, all the rest of them, probably y'all need to be fined and penalized. You're gonna have to face some penalties for what you did during this pandemic. Now, you cannot keep giving them passes and breaks. Penalize them and put that money right back into the treasury. You want to know how money can go to pay down the United States deficit? From these corporations right here. You start penalizing them and fining them like you're supposed to, and garnishing their funds right off the bat. As soon as they get their money in, just start taking it. You pay down this debt. Whew. Big business would not want me to be up there legislating. They would be like, she is not the one for this, and I'm not for it. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. All right. So let me see what the chat is saying. Oh, thank you, Alan. You said I'm still on fleek. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, you know, what is so interesting is people are so interesting. Can we talk? Now, it's interesting. I get people from the United Kingdom saying, "You're made for this live. You are," and people from the islands saying, "You are created to do live. It's like you're natural at this live." Where years ago, can we really talk? I had the opportunity to do live television every day, and some people may have heard this story over here, and some people may have not. But they had a prerequisite, and the prerequisite was I had to get braces. This is what they wanted me to do: get braces. I said, "Can we really talk?" And the guy right here. Now my teeth are straight. Any dentist will tell you I have straight teeth. Just have a gap. They wanted me to get braces and close my gap up. Being offered money. Now money is sometimes where you just say no. And I said to them, "Okay, hold on. So this is what you want me to do. You want me to get braces to close my heritage up. This will identify where my ancestors came from. This is part of my heritage. People in my family on both sides with gaps in their mouth. Identifying where we came from, where we originated from. You want me to close the gap up in my mouth to sit on your live television show every day? You can kick rocks with it. Forget it. Forget it. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That will work on somebody who was self-conscious or were not affirmed and validated coming along. That don't work on me. I said, no, I don't care how much money you offering. I don't care to sit on your program every day and display your product for the price of closing the gap up in my mouth. You can kick rocks with it. It's my heritage. And saying that to say this, somebody made a comment. When people try to say, you got the gap. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna keep it. My heritage. Don't ever forget it. Sometimes you just have to walk away from situations. Then fast forward to now, because YouTube wasn't popping then like it was when they said that. Now I can be up here all day, every day if I want to, with my content. They don't get to decide what I'm going to talk about or discuss. I can jump on here and go live. And don't have to go off their script. I don't use a script when I'm up here. I'm just free flowing off a topic. I don't have to sit down and read from their teleprompter. And I still got my gap, just like that right there. Okay? A trip. Just like that right there. Thank you, Alan, for saying I'm still a freak. That's right, Alan. No. I'm not one of the people who, you know, I could blaze when I was younger. Rightly so. My brother was the oldest, have a bunch of male cousins. And so, yeah, I used to blaze with the best of them coming along. And yeah, we got in trouble from my mama because she didn't agree with us doing all that. But I'm thinking the things that they talked about in school, you have high cheekbones. Yeah, they natural. People paying for them now. They never talked about my lips, but I like to say I have thick lips. They paying for that now too. Cheekbone injections, lip injections, trying to get melatonin in skin, or whatever, just doing the most. No disrespect to the other women who out there doing the most, whatever. I don't have to do the most. I was born with the most. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Designed by God, just like that. So I know I'm special. Okay. period, will never let anyone strip the heritage that I came from away from me no more than they've already done over here in the United States of America. No, I don't play them games. Not at all. I am what I am. It's not a deformity. It's about where I came from. So should I have to do my trace back to my roots? I want to know who had the gaps. Teeth were like mine. The cheekbones like this. The natural, non-injected lipo in cheekbones like this. Or just right here, like some apples close to my eyes. Who have my face shape? Who have my eye shape? Because what you see is what you get from front to back. The optometrist said, your eyes are shaped like footballs from the front to the back. And it's interesting. They said, because usually people have a different shape in the front and the eyeballs round out at the back. Mine's are not like that. What you see on the front is what it is in the back. He said that's different. Usually people have a rounded in the back. When he going in with that 3D scope, he said usually eyes are round. And he said every time, eyes are usually rounded in the back and yours are like a football from the front to the back. It's about where I came from. Be like, don't be trying to, people be tripping. It is what it is, fearfully and wonderfully made. It's about where my ancestors came from. Forget that. And while I'm right here, and I said, can we talk? I remember somebody tried to crack on my teeth before on here, and I had to get them straight. Don't try to talk about my teeth when you have none. Please, stop. People be tripping. Stop. Oh yeah, I said it. Don't play with me. You don't get to play with me over here. I don't do dumb stuff. I don't do dumbness. I don't do I'm that other one. Right, Alan. Right. So that's my little rant added on to this. Let me give us some music so we can get off here. Go back through the stuff at the beginning, people, and glean the nuggets from this. And people tripping. People can bring Oh, and by the way, to the organizations who wanted me to do live television, you get to flash back and look at all my YouTube lives, honey. Kerensz style, like that right there. And let me go to Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And I'm gonna try to, I wonder would they let me slide on another Prince song? And usually they don't. They'll let me do one, but I'll be trying to go. Anyway, let me drop my Instagram. I'm gonna go on Instagram Live and see if Instagram shut me down for playing a bunch of Prince music today. Okay. So if y'all want to meet me over on my Instagram, and I don't do a lot of lives on Instagram, I just started playing around with them during this pandemic. Let me drop my Instagram. Y'all want to go by Instagram? Let me remember I had to look up my Instagram name. This is what it is. I'm gonna go live over there. Y'all want to jump up and join me on Instagram? I'll send out, you can ask for a request and come up. I'm getting ready to go over there and play some friends and see if they shut me down on the stream. And this is my username on the gram. Okay. I'm gonna bring the system in here. So gram name. I'm getting ready to print it out over there. YouTube won't let me do it over here. They'll be shut me down. Let me see if they shut me down on the gram. Let's see what Instagram gonna do. Okay, and you can look for you'll see my pictures. I have a lot of pictures up there. I'm getting ready to, after we get off of this, I'm gonna set it up for the gram. I gotta put my purple on though. I gotta put my purple on. Put my purple jacket on. I gotta put my purple on. I'm getting ready to go live over there on the gram after this and play a bunch of pranks. See what Instagram algorithm do. See how they had their stuff filtered. But thanks to everybody for streaming. Make sure you are sheltering in place, taking care of your family, taking care of yourself. We all want to be out. Like I have my annual appointments that I have missed that keep getting pushed back. And I don't know if my OBGYN is going to push me back again. I have my mammograms that are supposed to be done for, you know, all types of exams that I should have been to, but they're all been pushed back. And I do understand why the doctors are doing that with their limited resources they have. So, I mean, many of us want to be out to these appointments. I want to be at my dentist appointment. I mean, I went back to baking soda and peroxide. I do peroxide all the time anyway, but I went back to baking soda. I said, I'm used to them and all this plaque off my teeth. All of us want to be at our appointments and different things like that and stuff being on fleek or whatever, but we have to do what we need to do to stop the spread of this. And we have to consider other people. We don't want to be asymptomatic, giving it to somebody else. And then, you know, they have to suffer through lack of breathing. But here we go.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. Don't worry, baby, just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to hurry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. Remember the day I set you free, I told you you could always count on me, darling. From that day on, I made a vow, I'll be there when you want me some way, somehow. Oh, baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. Oh, no, darling. No wind, no rain, or winter's cold can stop me, baby. No, no, baby. 'Cause you are my love. If you're ever in trouble, I'll be there on the double. Just send for me, oh, baby. My love is alive, down in my heart, although we are miles apart. If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the double, as fast as I can. And don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough, ain't no mountain high enough.
All right. So hopefully you all would join me on the gram in a few. I'm gonna edit this up before I go over to the gram. You can find me on there. I need to edit this first for you to do my icon, do all my updates, drop all the descriptions in the link, and then I need to bring the system up here too, because I'm getting ready to see what Instagram algorithm gonna do. I'm getting ready to bring YouTube to the gram today, Kerensz style. I've been testing it out in the background a little, but I ain't do like I'm getting ready to do today. I'm getting ready to rock out with some prints on and see what they do. Let's see which phone I'm gonna use. I don't know which cell phone I'm gonna use. And the thing about being on Instagram, if you want to come up on there live with me, all you got to do is hit the little option that say request to be in my live, and I will hit OK. You can come on up there. I don't know how the stream is going to be over there in terms of quality. I don't know which cell phone I'm gonna use. My daughter has the better cell phone, really, even though I have an LG, well, Samsung. Where's my LG at? I don't know my LG at. It's probably in the drawer. That's the older phone. Oh, I got an LG in my hand right now too. And then this one right here, I don't like the quality of the lighting on this one. But I'll use my light when I go live. I'm getting ready to rock out. After I edit this, I'm rocking out on the gram and the Prince. I'm gonna see. Let's see if they algorithms over there feel violated. Let's see how they had their stuff filtered and their parameters set up. I'm just give me a few. The links in the description below. Right, Alan Roar. I'm getting ready to go jam to some. Probably in about what? I said probably a good 15, 20 minutes because I got to bring my stuff up here. I'm getting ready to go rock out some Prince over there on the ground. So, y'all, let's take YouTube to the ground. Thank you for streaming, everybody. But seriously, stay safe. Love on your family from a distance if they're not there. Shelter in place. Do what's best for your family, because some people are not taking anyone's health and life serious during this time, and they're going to have a bunch of blood on their hands and their head. We can look up, we can get up. We know how to take lickings and keep on ticking, and it's unfortunate. Don't let anything get you in a depressed mode. Remember, there are a bunch of counselors and psychologists out there now. They are home. And on Instagram tonight, I think I'm gonna play. Let me play this right now because I was on that BET Live. Let me do a little bonus before I get off here. Let me do my little bonus before I get off here, because I was on there with on the BET Live. I mean, conference call with who? Okay. This is not playing loud. I'll play it on Instagram. Yvette, Fix My Life. I was on that call with her. Days ago from BET. Then I'll be on the little town hall thingy tomorrow again with BET, listening in, phone conference call, whatever, where you can ask questions or say whatever you're going to say or do whatever. I'll be on there again with them tomorrow. And I was on the one with her. Now tomorrow it's the senators and the Congress people, Sheila Jackson Lee, I think they said Maxine Waters, and some others are going to be on there. So, I'm gonna be on that one with some questions like Michigan building bill, Real CARES Act for people. So I'm gonna be on that one tomorrow. BT. Like, what's up with it? So we heard what you said, but we also saw what you wrote. Well, I'll use my polished language. We heard what was discussed, but we also looked at the legislation as it was drafted and passed, and it has been written, and it was not for the people like you all said it would be. So I just want to admonish you all to get a bill out here that's conducive to the American taxpayer. All right. So thank you, everybody. Like I said, take care of your family. Let me edit this up so we can get over to the ground. I have to bring some equipment up here. Bye, y'all.